protectors of the Sunnah, Sunnah followers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Rasulullah. Welcome to our Hadith class. And tonight we are studying the Hadiths from Sahih Bukhari's chapter entitled The Heart Softeners. The Heart Softeners. And the reason why this chapter is such a good chapter to teach from is because the Hadiths that Imam Bukhari put here are Hadiths that help to give us the hope that we need in life to get through the trials of life and to better ourselves and our relationship with Allah. And let's look at the hadith that's up for discussion tonight. Let me put it up here on the screen. And this hadith speaks about how the rewards of putting our trust in Allah. And this is something that we hear a lot as Muslims, that we're supposed to put our trust in Allah. We're speaking about this in the class with the Quran test class with Dr. Asim. He's going over the meaning of Kul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad. And we're talking about the name Samad in this chapter, how Samad refers to how Allah is self-reliant. Self-sufficient, and how we as Muslims should just, rely upon him, resort only to him, and realize that Allah is the absolute, that Allah is the ultimate absolute. So, again, being a self-sufficient, how can we incorporate Samad into ourself as a characteristic? Well, as human beings, we can never be independent of Allah. But we can be independent of man. Okay, we can condition ourselves and train ourselves to rely on no one or nothing but Allah, to trust in Allah alone, because Allah will never let us down. And we know that if we put our trust in something or someone other than him, the possibility of us being let down is great. So that's one of the ways you can incorporate that name Samad into your personal life. So, but this hadith addresses that. Let's take a look at this wonderful hadith. This hadith was narrated by Ibn Abbas. He said that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said 70,000 people of my followers will enter paradise without being held accountable for their actions. And they are those who live their lives in this world, trusting in Allah, not trusting in anything else. And they didn't look and see the evil omens and things. They simply depended upon Allah. And they didn't practice a ruqya. Now, what does he mean when he's talking about a ruqya? This is when a person gets sick. You have someone come and read Quran over you. Well, the believer can read Quran over himself. He knows that all things that happen to us, good and evil, comes from Allah. Allah is the giver of good. Allah is the giver of evil. Okay. And Allah is a giver of good. Allah is the giver of sickness. So when we are afflicted with a sickness, we can return to Allah on our own and trust in him and call upon him for help. And that's what these 70,000 people, and you think about it, this is not that many people. The Prophet is speaking about all the Muslims. Out of all the Muslims to come from his time until the day of judgment, only 70,000 of them will be in the group known as the forerunners, where Allah is not going to judge them, where Allah is not going to have them stand before him because of the sacrifices they made for him, the trust they had in him. Allah has already chosen to forgive them of their sins. He would tell them to just go and stand and wait for the gates of paradise to open. And one of the reasons why is because they were so strong in their faith, their iman. that when they were sick, they only turned to Allah for help, not man. They went to the doctor, they took their medicine, they treated themselves, but they didn't ask others to do it for them. That's why, we need to work on being more independent and self-sufficient, where we don't have to call upon others for help. Okay, that's another way of incorporating self-sufficiency, as-samad, into your life. And also, these were people that were not superstitious. And this is another characteristic of man. Man is always superstitious of things, suspicious of things. Well, these people, weren't superstitious. They could care less. They know that nothing will harm you unless Allah decrees it. And if Allah decrees it, there's nothing you can do to stop it. And they knew that nothing will benefit them unless Allah decrees that too. So they didn't go around superstitious, afraid that if they stepped on a crack, somebody's going to get a broken back. Or if they broke a piece of glass, they're going to have bad luck. They didn't believe in that crap. They simply trusted in Allah. They knew that the evil exists out there. But they trust that Allah will protect them and save them for that. They trust in the fact that Allah will never put a burden upon us that's too great for us to bear. So that's what makes this 70,000 people stand out over the rest of this nation.